Hi and welcome to Accordion Cafe. We're doing some Striplight working today. I'm going to fit a Striplight, a movable one, and this is the one which we're going to take down. It's in an unused part of the premises, and it's a bit mucky, as you can see. It's covered in pigeon poop, and it had been disconnected. It's just basically it was in a line of strip lights, and I suspect this tube is no good anyway, because it's fairly black up one end as well as being covered in muck. This is 222 40-volt light. This particular one slots in with the two pins at the end, and you give it a quarter turn to remove it. Same at the other end. You line the pins up on the tube and slot them in, and then when you've slotted it down, you turn the tube, and as you can see, I'm just showing you now that the end piece turns and locks it in so it doesn't drop out on your head. Simple as that. So this one was a bit mucky, so we're just giving it a bit of a wipe over, get all the dust and the pigeon poop off it. I'm not going to wire this in with cable because, as I just said, I'll be moving this to different locations around the Accordion Cafe studio, which I'll be putting a video up. This is our new acquisition, the Accordion Cafe studio. And there's your little starter switch, which you just give it a little turn and it pops out, and those two pins lock into place on those two slots there. It's just a quarter of a turn to the right, to the left, can't remember which, and those are the two cables I'll be removing. Just pull the cover off to get to the cables inside. I'll be replacing those with the flex. There's the cables there. Basically it's just a well, I suppose you may call it a parallel connection or a looping, whichever you like. So we just remove the cables, the in and the out to the next one in the line. There's no complicated wiring, it's just red into the brown, and the earth. The earth connections go through this block straight to a tag which is straight onto the body of the strip light. So it's quite a good connection as long as it's tight. And it's just red to brown, black to blue. That's positive to positive, negative to negative, and the green and yellow earth, which is covered in earth sleeving, goes to the earth. As simple as that. Nothing too complicated about that. That's just the plate for holding the strip light up on chains. I'll be putting that back later. And these earth sleeves, the green and yellow earthing sleeves, only an inch and a half long, 2 inches long, worth keeping. Just took them in the toolbox. I'm very often caught out when I'm doing some cabling. I've got no earth sleeving. I don't carry a reel of it. I don't do electrical installation work. I'm more of electrical domestic appliances with the occasional installation job. This cable here, which as you can see might seem fine for the job, but isn't, because it's only a 2-core. There's no earth flex in there, so it's no good. But it's good for a fuse because there's a 3-amp fuse in the plug. The plug itself is no good because the positive and negative pins on the plug are not the half insulated type, so it's they're out of date. You just throw these plugs away, because without the black plastic insulators on the pins, it's possible to pull the plug out, certainly for a child, to pull the plug slightly out from the wall and put the fingers and get electrocuted. So we'll replace that lead again with a lead which is a 3-core lead. This one here, it's a lot thicker. This is for a much higher amperage device, but it doesn't matter about going up in that. It matters if you go down, because you could cause it to get hot. But I'll put in a thicker lead on, won't do any harm at all. So I'm going to be using this lead on here, the fuse, a 3 amp fuse out of the other plug, and this extension lead here which I'm using was not fitted properly anyway. The cord clamps were not on the sheathing of the flex. So we're going to be using the fuse out of the other one, and the lead itself. This is a good thick lead, and the plug off something else, because I've found a plug with the insulation on the pins. I'm just going to check the continuity of the positive and negative leads in this lead now. Make sure the flex is all, the continuity is good. Just a quick check with the meter. I'm using the bleep on the meter, and the way I check for continuity in positive and negative is on one end of the flex, the 3-core flex. If you just twist the positive and negative together on one end, like that, then you can take the other end of the lead on the positive and negative and put your meter leads onto each one, and it should bleep for a good continuity. So there we are, and you can check the continuity of the earth lead, which sounds good. And then if you put your meter lead on the positive and negative what's twisted together, and the other meter lead on the earth lead, you shouldn't get a bleep unless you've got a short from the live leads to the earth. If I had crocodile clips, I would also shake the lead as well to make sure there's no intermittent breaks in the lead. This is very annoying. So there we are. You can see I've put the lead inside the casing of the Striplight now. I've tied a knot in one end to stop it from being pulled. I don't have a grommet for the lead, so I've put some thick tape around the edges of the hole for now until I can find a grommet that side, because this fitting will be used in different locations around the studio. And as I said before, it's simply positive to positive, give them a twist together and put them in the respective holes. And when you tighten the screws down, don't over tighten the screw, otherwise you'll break the copper strands. So these just have to be firmly down, snugly down, not over tightened, just finger tightness, and you'll have a good connection. Yeah, we've got a Accordion Cafe is now got a 4-part studio. We've got the music side, electrical domestics, and the computer side, and also an eBay side, and boats. And we do marine wiring and marine motors. Sometimes you have to open them even a little bit wider, these screws, because you'll think the lead's in there and it's not properly in. So always be sure that you have actually got them in and there's no strands sticking out either. As I say, the earth connection is done directly to the casing via a cut-out lift-up tag on the casing, and it goes straight into the other end of this connector strip here. And when you finish fitting your leads, then you need to check the earth continuity, and so you can just put one probe on the resistance setting on your meter down to 200 ohms. If you put one side of your meter in the earth connector and the other side find a piece of bare metal, and you should have a very low resistance reading on this Striplight fitting. I'll show you the meter reading. You can hear it bleeping just on the bleep test, but that's not good enough to check the earth continuity. You need to know what the resistance is to make sure it's not too high, otherwise your earth will loop, it won't work properly, and you may not blow the you might not switch the MCB. Now on this you can see the reading is the resistance on the earth. The reading is 0.1 ohms, which is acceptable. So now we'll fit the other plug, and I won't bore you with watching this plug being fitted. I'll speed the film up a bit, and we'll get through this pretty quickly. There he goes. Pretty fast there. As I say, I'm fitting a flexible lead on this strip lighting because it's going to be used in different locations, and I'll be putting a notice. We're fixing a label to the strip lighting, quite a few labels actually, reminding that this strip lighting is on a plug and socket and not into the lighting circuit. Otherwise it could be very dangerous for any electrician other than myself who thinks he's switched the lighting off at the consumer units, and in actual fact he hasn't switched this off, because this will be plugged into the ring mains. And there we are, fitting the tube now, just as a test at the moment, make sure we're all connected up properly. I haven't put the cover back on yet, I just want to test the Striplight first to make sure everything's working properly. So we'll just switch that on. There he is. That's the old tube, which has to be disposed of properly, because the phosphor coating inside is dodgy stuff, so that has to be disposed of properly at the waste recycling plant. There it is, fully assembled now and ready to go, and in its first spot it's hanging from one of the beams in the studio on its chains. Well, thanks for watching, bye for now.